everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vintner Chuck. It is a glorious Monday that feels ironically like a Friday. But nonetheless, we are here. And what are we doing today? We are having the $12 wine challenge. You think Price is Right is going to sue me for that? The $12 price challenge. All these wines are $11.99, and here's why I'm doing that. Because 12 is the new 10. And you know what I mean by that? Here's what I mean. A lot of times people stayed in that budget of, I like to drink wines at $10 and under, and I agree. And I'm a big fan of looking for value. You should see when I go out for wine where I've got to order wine from the wine list. You would be astonished at the things that I order. It's fun to find value. It's like finding a nugget, a 4-leaf clover, gold. You know, there's a lot of different things that make us always want lottery tickets. We're always looking for that find, that thing. You know, some of you watch Wine Library TV because you think it's going to blow up and be this huge show one day, and you want to say you were on it when it just started. So, you know, finding inexpensive wines that are tremendous is a fun game for everybody. And so I've picked 4 wines here. The 4 top-selling wines as we speak for the month of January and February 2007 at the exact price point of $12. Isn't metadata awesome? Ting! So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try these 4 wines, and we're going to see how they're doing. We're going to see what they're all about. We'll talk about them. But what I really want to talk about is 12 is the new 10. If I can beg of anything, and you know I'm not here to upsell, downsell. I like to say whatever's on my mind. But there's a big movement of the quality of wines that are 10 and under compared to 10 to 12 is shocking. There's some really nice $10, $8, $9, $10 wines, but there are people who have made a line in the sand, and I'm a huge fan of not liking. So I'm a huge, what was the word I'm looking for? I am against the line in the sand, because the line in the sand is when you're boxing yourself in. So $1 or $2, drink a bottle or 2 less a week and explore far better wines. I see so many great values between 10 and 12, and so 12 is the new 10. The Mayo, 2003, Conta du Aglianico. And this is a very, very interesting wine. It's 100% Aglianico. We love that. And it is very interesting because it's flying. And why is it flying, you ask? Because you've never heard of this wine? Well, mainly because it scored 91 points by Robert Parker, which is a ginormous score for the man to give at $12. 13.5 alcohol content, and I am absolutely, positively, 100% excited about trying this wine. Really, really, a really nice color for an Aglianico, a little bit darker than we even tend to see. Very interesting nose, actually. First thing that comes to mind is red beets. I get a really distinct nose of red beets, which I kind of like. Little hint of Kirsch Royale as well. And a nice, lively lilac, dandelion, you know, potpourri of flowers coming through on the nose as well. A great shock on the mid-palate of acidity, kind of telling you, like, hey, watch it, jerk off. Don't think I'm just a flabby fruit bomb. I've got some acidity, and I'm backing it up. So that's what that wine kind of did to me, and I kind of got, you know, I kind of respected his place. I said, I understand, let me continue to enjoy what you've got coming. And what he continued to throw at me were very interesting layers of green pepper. I still taste it like not a hot pepper, just a regular old green pepper, the yellow and the red one. You know, they make a fun little, you know, rainbow of peppers, I guess. Really obvious pepper flavors coming through. Really nice acidity. This is real wine, and it shoots with a chocolate-covered cherry reduction sauce flavor on the finish that really rounds it out and kind of doesn't take some of the New World fans out of the equation. This is a real wine. This is a wine's wine. Every wine would respect what this wine's bringing to the table, especially for this price point. You know, Aglianico from Molise, indigenous to the area, true to the vineyards, true to the terroir. It's bringing nice smokiness, really nice flavor profile, real wine. A lot of times in this price range we get great scored wines that are fake. I like this wine. 91 points is an awfully, awfully high score. And I'm not going to go that bonkers, but I am definitely going to have to say this wine is an 89 plus, right on the cusp of 90. Let's give it a 90 minus. Let's start using minus. Chris, help me out with that. Sinskey, give me a 90 minus on this wine. I like this wine to be consumed over the next 2 to 4 years. Think lamb pairing on this. This would be great with lamb and a pepper sauce. Also, believe it or not, because of the body and the flavor profiles that it's shooting, I would love to have this in the classic duck reduction sauce, which a lot of times we're going to use Pinot and Burgundy. I think this could be a really interesting, nice after smell. Could be a really interesting little wine to go along with that. A screaming value for 12 bucks, and we're off to a good start. Robert Sinskey, Aries, 2001, Merlot from Carneros, $13.99, 12 US dollars. And this wine is absolutely flying as well. We started with the biggest selling, and we're going all the way down, ironically, and it works out for the body of the wines too. So let's see, 12 bones, Robert Sinskey. These are from all organic wine, grapes, excuse me. 100% Merlot, Los Carneros, and I'm excited to try this wine. Robert makes amazing wines. He's very true to the organic farming. He's a good man, a great guy, and makes extremely good wine. And his wines tend to be in the $30, $40 range. So when you can get a Sinskey wine for 12 bones, we are in for a treat, and I believe that's why it's selling. We're not doing a lot of promotion on this, so I think this is more of a return. I didn't really look into that, but probably more of a return business wine, whereas the first wine, people are just buying off of the score. You know, it's weird. Wine is weird, right? I mean, the first thing I thought of is like this old gray sweater I used to have. And what the heck does that mean? But it smells like it. And I guess it's like a mix of my closet and me not wearing it for a while and laundry. I don't know. It's really weird. It really smelled exactly like that for a minute. Not too much coming through on the nose. I am getting a little bit of wood. I'm getting a little hint of like wet rock, a little of that dirt, a little bit of a really interesting kind of like suck-ass fruit. Let's call it suck-ass fruit, and saf for short. I'm getting saf on this, and what I mean by saf is like that fruit you see in the grocery store that you just can tell it didn't come from the best farm, and when you smell it, it doesn't smell really like fruit. It's almost like tss, all that stuff they put on it. And I just want to say that this wine smells like saf mixed with a sweater that I used to own and a little bit of wood. $12 can get you great wine, folks. I really like this wine, actually. Great sour cherry coming right through. Tastes far more like a classic Bordeaux from Saint-Emilion or from Pomerol than it does from the normal characteristics that you get out of California Merlot. It's got really obvious sour cherry, really interesting strawberry flavor coming through as well, a little strawberry jam. I'm also getting a little hint of Cocoa Puffs, which is great. Great cereal, and also a nice scent of chocolate. Never hurt any Merlot I've ever found. Great body. Silky as silk, like the black ice that I was driving all over in the last couple days in New Jersey and New York. That's how smooth this wine is. It's got tremendous body on your palate. A heavy wine, as I like to call. Almost like throwing a rock in your mouth and trying to balance it with your tongue. Here, because it's heavy. It's earthy, yet fruity. Heavy, yet elegant. I like those kind of wines. This, to me, is much more of a 90-point wine than the first wine even. And so then I'm going to score it a 90 with no minus. So far, two ridiculously great wines for the price. And this has got me excited about the future of the wine world because one is true to its area. Another one is not trying to be a fruit bomb. It's really showing the terroir of Carneros, which is really a nice area to grow Merlot. Great Merlots out of that area. Great wines out of that area, and I like this wine. And you know what? It's really darn good. I mean, it's stunning sometimes actually to think about how good wines can be in this price point. Let's move on. Sterling, 2004, Vintner's Collection, Cabernet, 13.5%. And this is made by a wonderful winemaker, Joe Kidd. I mean, imagine if your name was Joe Kidd. Joey the Kid around my neighborhood. I mean, that would be some cool stuff. And he spells his name like Jason Kidd. I mean, this is just a cool name. I'll be honest with you. Gary Vaynerchuk is fine, and I love it, and I'm used to it. But Joe Kidd, I mean, how can you not be happy about that? Great winemaker. These wines have always been tremendous values for the price point. We do a lot of sales of Sterling Vintner's collections. They tend to be very popular. I've never even had one. So I'm excited about this. Again, not too big of a promotional item for us. We've had a couple floor stacks, so I just think people are coming back for it. So there's obviously some good things going on. I like doing shows like this. I like to see what the masses are drinking. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, now this wine, you know, smells a little bit like cherry soda pop. It smells over matterized. It's kind of weird, a little disjointed on the nose. Not my kind of nose, really. Kind of reminds me of something like nail polish, but like with like fruity scented nail polish, if that kind of makes sense. It's got a nail polishy aspect to it, but obviously it's got like fruit, so it's not just like pure nail polish alcoholic kind of smell. But it's got like that fine like some sort of chemical you have in, you know, it's like one of those things you have in your garage. It's a spray, and you have no idea what it's for. You know, that's what it kind of smells like. It says berry and plum flavors on the back, but I get a little bit more of a cherry flavor on this wine. I don't like this wine very much. It's not my cup of tea. It's very light for a Cabernet. It's very basic. I have to go look at the numbers. Maybe somebody bought like 100 cases for a wedding, and that's why it's one of the top sellers this year. I don't see how many people would like this wine. It's very off balance, extremely light. It's entry-level cab. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think it's broken. It's not horrible. It's just a wine that is bringing very little to the table, and I've tasted many wines out of 1.5 liter levels, for example, for $10. So let's say a $5 version of wine that tastes exactly like this. I don't know if they're going through the pedigree of the Sterling name or what. It's very one-dimensional. Let's score this wine 77 points, and let's move on. Hopefully this will help, because this is one of the big boys. This wine has come on the scene, and we are selling it like it's honestly got the cure inside. Like every diet you've ever heard of just changed and said, drink Winter's Tank and you'll lose weight. This is Winter's Tank, 2005, from Langhorne Creek, great area in Australia. A 15.5% Shiraz, that is 12 U.S. bones, and this wine is scored 91 points by Robert Parker himself. Dark. I mean, this wine is completely black, really dark purple, black, pitch dark colors. It's got a lot of fruit going on. Actually, a really good hint of bacon on this wine as well. Bacon fat, almost. Really interesting. I'm getting some dark cherry flavors. Really dark, not cherry. Let's go blackberry. Like real dark flavors. Real dark plum flavors. Blackberry, blackcurrant. Nice. I mean, you know, there's also a hint of rounded citrus flavors, like an orange peel or a mango, maybe an apricot aspect to it, which I get in these very high alcohol Shiraz a lot of times. So you're a fan of Molly Duker, and you're a fan of those kind of over-the-top explosive wines, and I would tell you right now you should go out and buy 2-3 cases of this wine. Instead of Orchild or some of these other over-the-top extracted fruit bomb Shirazes, there is no reason to pay $20 for the Duker or $30 for other things when you can buy this and pay $12. This is 91 points Parker. This is an over-top fruit bomb. It's not as refined, maybe, or polished in my opinion, as a fruit bomb, as maybe, let's say, the Molly Duger 2 Lafite that we did recently. However, it's got all that tons of fruit, dark chocolate, creme de cassis, just really dark flavors coming through. Reed Bosworth, who's the winemaker, also at Kiesler, did a great job with this wine for that style. This is a Beware wine, no doubt, and that's a yellow triangle that says Beware, over the top fruit. It's going to be one of those things. I'm going to score this wine 89 points because I do feel it's a little off balance and a little awkward. It is very young. It can come together. It's got everything a New World Fruit Bomb fan is looking for, and it's very delicious. And for $12 and a flavor of this, it's delicious. But again, syrupy comes to mind, and that turns off a lot of people. I still think it's worth an 89-point score because it is delicious and a lot of people will like it. And for that reason, that's the way I go. So I'm going to go in this order. Be right back. And that's how I rank them. You've got three very interesting, different wines, 90, 90 minus, and 89. And for $12, how can you go wrong? 12 is the new 10, and your question of the day is very simple. Tell me your best $12 wine experience in the last 39 days. Now go try to figure out why I said 39. Because you, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, aren't we?